Welcome back. There aren't enough hours in the day. I want to be getting on with this lovely Climatic Revelator, but yesterday I spent most of the day getting the three machines boxed up, packaged up and everything, double packaged with void fill shock absorbers. And then thought, well, I can get on with this, but then I got an order for a Heraldic Clarion, an Heraldic Clarion this morning, and I realised I'd run out. I'd got none left, so... And having made several, I just couldn't resist finally fitting one up in my own porch, because I couldn't hear the dong-ding bell that I'd made previously. It's fantastic. You can't beat an air horn. I realised when I opened the magic drawer under the bench of filth, and I remembered I'd made recently a load more of the ready-made ones, but I've got one of the kit types made, so I'm making a load more of them with the lovely 3D printer that just keeps on printing, very rarely stops. It's Sunday afternoon, the hottest days of the year, so what do I decide and do? Fix the wretched cold water mains tap. Lovely brass hot water tap, low pressure, which is lovely, but let's have a look at the problem. Here's the offending article, or the bottom of it anyway. Beautiful brass tap. I need to clean it up a little bit, but the problem is, as with all taps of this sort, pre-ceramic things, the brass seat onto which the rubber washer pushes to stop the water coming out wears, because we have very hard water in London, and it slowly etches into the brass little tracks and marks until it will not stop dripping. As the saying goes, nothing so annoying as a dripping tap, or something like that. The top of it is that. Coincidentally it says hot, but anyway, that's another story. And obviously these were bought from salvage yards and things when I was doing the kitchen, because they just look really nice rather than horrible, boring modern ones. And as you can see, as you tighten it, turn it off, it forces this threaded thing down with this bit which has a rubber washer, which is a very strange size, hence the fact the washers I always end up using I have to trim down, and most washers you get these days for taps are useless. They're plastic, they're not rubber. But I had some time ago bought a new one, a new old one, to replace it with, and then found that in fact it looked like it would work, but it's all been soldered and fixed, and because we're going to drink it, I really don't want to have sort of leaded water coming out. So I can't use that. It's one of those jobs where I've tried it on a regular basis every couple of months when it starts dripping again. I've got these lovely tools. You screw them into this bit, and they've got a really sharp hardened steel base cutter that you twist round and round, and as you can see that's what I've been doing to get that smooth, but it's the wrong size for the washer, and I'm fed up with it. If the washer was slightly bigger, could seat properly, it would last longer before it managed to etch its way through. I've got another one, and this one miraculously actually is the right thread to fix into this old tap, and it's got two cutters. One, of course, is too big, and it is hardened steel, I know, because I tried turning it down to no avail. There's a small one, and obviously that's just too small. I've got drawers full of all sorts of hardware, a row of drawers there full of all sorts more hardware, the lathe, all sorts of other tools. Nothing. It's one of those projects, nothing is quite the right size and will not work. I've tried it so many times, so this time, there we are, cutter's on the wrong way up. That doesn't matter, because obviously, again, this thread is not a standard thread, so I couldn't even cut a brass one and tap it myself. So let's give that a go. So that screws in there, like that. And then, coincidentally, luckily, we've got a hot water and a cold water tank, that's right. So low pressure stuff works, which isn't fit for drinking, but at least the kids can carry on having the water fight with bottles filled with hot water on a hot day. Joy. And then you go round and round like this, and hopefully, because I've used slightly coarser abrasive paper this time, it will get it all down to the right level. I'll get back to you during the meanwhilest. Sometime later, in fact 100 goes later, it is having an effect. Sadly, I would love to take this off and put that in the drill or whatever, but you can't get it. This is moulded on. Like I say, it's so frustrating. Normally I can always find some sort of sneaky way of achieving my mechanical goal, so to speak, but not with this. Every couple of months doing the best job I can cobbling it together, so this is going to be it. This is the time. You know, a nice thing, wonderful thing about super glue is you can just prise the washer off and it springs off. So that's good, because I'm happy. If we look in there, you can see that is a much bigger, wider area that I've managed to get down. What I'm doing now, I'm going to put I'm gluing on the finer abrasive paper just to give it a really nice finish. I reckon we're nearly there. Go rubber duck, strike a light. It is absolutely sweltering. I thought it's too hot, so I don't really fancy getting on with steampunk machines. Let's find something nice, little easy job to do that isn't too demanding, etc, etc. I'm able to relax as always. I'm happy with that now. There's still a little bit of etched on one side somewhere or other, but I think that is just where the casting, yeah, over there, isn't quite high enough. Everything else is lovely and smooth. So I think I've got some brass wire brushes, so I'm going to do this, thankfully with the help of electrotrickery, get this cleaned up and then get it back together again. And here's the mechanism, and these lovely old taps. I mean, taps are amazing as well as a technological thing. So clever. Or faucets, as you call them in America. As you wind that in, you can see there's a coarse thread there that lifts that, and that lifts the washer off that. The supply comes in underneath there, so it's always trying to push the washer up. When you allow it to push it up, it can then send the water down there and out this spout. Lovely. I'm absolutely dripping with sweat. So much for a nice relaxing job to do. And of course, with no fresh water to drink, what are you going to do? There we are, wire brush, goggles in place obviously, because when you use these it goes everywhere. Let's give it a go. I don't know where to start. Ooh, that's nice, a bit brutal. I'll take it lighter actually. Well, that came out nicely. A brushed brass effect, I did it very gently. So that's really nice. And in this bit of taps, or this sort of tap, you can unscrew this, and underneath they used to use some sort of hemp or fibre, but nowadays you can use a load of PTFE tape wrapped round it and then squashed in as you tighten that up, and that provides the watertight seal that allows you to turn that but stops water spraying at the top. That's still okay from last time. I'll get this back together. There's the washer that now fits and seats properly. Bit of PTFE round this thread, get it together, and hopefully the family can drink again. Well, water that is. Right, moment of truth. Main stopcock back on. It's also pointed out by my wife, of course, that there was a wash on the go when I decided to start this, so the washing machine's obviously not being able to finish its cycle. Let's let all the air out. So far so good. Looks lovely. And obviously I want to make sure that any little bits of fluff and stuff, swoof, gets flushed away. Now, this is the important bit. Oh, look. I can switch it off with one finger. That isn't, well, almost. That's an absolute joy. In the past, I'd be cranking it round. Oh, lovely. That's really, really nice. A job well done. Right, we can resume drinking and washing. Fabulous. Nice little interlude there, hopefully.